Drugs. See y'all go in the park. System overload.
What is up, full-time family? It's time to start the show. We are live. It is August 29th, and it is Wednesday. But before we get started, you know what time it is.
This is Sean O'Malley, and you're watching Full-Time MMA. Don't be a bagel-biting, bagel bitch boy, bagel bitch back.
What's going on? We're in the building. Yo, we got a lot to talk about today, and then after the show, I'm actually going to go live. We're going to do like a UFC 4 watch party. I'm just going to go watch that. It's going to be a stream I'm going to take down right after I go live because, of course, copyright reasons, but I'm just going to watch it. I don't even know if it's going to get taken down during, but we're going to have some fun. I'm going to be watching it regardless, and some of you guys showed some interest in it yesterday, but we're going to have to do it on another account, of course. We're not going to risk it on this one. But yeah, full-time family, what's going on? It's time to talk some MMA news. Let's pull up the chat, see who's in the building to start the show. Chris Crooks, Marcus Bell, Grown Man Shit 360. What's going on, everybody? Salute from Washington State. Stamina MC in the motherfucking building. What's going on, my brother? Golden Boy signed to Chuck Liddell. Yeah, man, Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz. They're supposed to be throwing down in Golden Boy's promotional or their inaugural MMA event. I mean, I know there's going to be some interest in it. Everyone might not want to watch it, but there's two big names of the sport. So if Chuck Liddell's really looking to kind of step into the MMA market, you know, you're going to need some big names to do that for your first event. And it's not going to happen now because we saw Michael Chandler re-sign with Bellator. But for a second there, Eddie Alvarez and Michael Chandler were looking like free agents together. Wouldn't it have been crazy if Oscar De La Hoya could have got his hands on like fucking Eddie Alvarez and Michael Chandler? Boy, we would have all been tuning into Golden Boy MMA that night. Dave said it would help if we had MMA news in the title. Where should I put MMA? Yeah, I was just putting like some of the topics, but yeah, thanks for the. I'll do that. I mean, what should I like in the beginning? That's probably a good idea. I'll do that. Wells PK Vid says, "Yo, fool, that's a good idea, man. I wonder if I can start doing that, like MMA news, and then put the rest of the title. But there's not really a lot of room in the title, but still, I have to fit that in there." Chris Crook says Tito wins this time. I think he's been more active. Yo, you don't get me excited for the fight. Chill. Reggie for the tree said $10 super chat to start the show. Holy flying, flipping, flapjacks. Thank you very much, Reggie the tree. Stay encouraged, my brother. Peace to you. Yes, sir, man, I am. I don't care about this little shadow ban. I've been actually trying to work through it. I've been going to all my old videos where I didn't really know how the tags worked, and I just put in a bunch of tags. Conor McGregor, Mayweather, just all the tags. John Jones, just trying to get.
Down with this. Unless you put it on contract.
We gotta put it on contract.
Then you can get some.
But yeah, man, I've been going through all, and I got like 3,000 videos, right? So it's a whole lot of videos to go through. But I'm going through every single video and just erasing all the tags just in case that's part of it. So I've been looking into things to get out of it. But either way, we're gonna keep grinding, keep doing our thug dizzle. But thank you very much for the $10, and that definitely, you know, that always puts a battery in my back as well. Stamina MC says, Trooper Sat. Ever Loves Drugs says, "Yo, full time, are you still gonna throw hands?" I put it on contract. That was the perfect $10 donation. Thank you again, Reggie the Tree. But like Felony Charles Bennett said, but you can't get none with this unless you put it on contract. Put it on contract, and then it is what it is. But other than that, no clout. But yeah, man. So with that being said, we got 14 people watching the show now. I mean, usually we start the show off with the song. Over here at UFC Yankovic, you know, we just made the second channel. I seen some people hitting subscribe. I appreciate it. So I'm going to plug that, of course, at the beginning and the end of the show. If you're interested in any of the MMA parody songs we've done, past or present, you can go check out UFC Yankovic. Boom, boom. Like, we got everything over there. I didn't mean to click that. We're not going to play one right now. We're already starting the show, but maybe at the end of the show we'll actually run one. Like, for sure, the McGregor versus Khabib promo. But for now, let's start with the MMA news. Reggie the Tree, Webs PK Viz, put it on contract in the building. Conor McGregor rejected Floyd Mayweather's training offer, saying there is no peace here. There is no peace here. He also said, "Fook the Mayweathers." You know what I'm saying? Looked like Floyd Mayweather thought shit was sweet for a second. He's like, yo, you know, yeah, I know the UFC's got a performance institute, but if McGregor's coming to train in Vegas, you know, we would like McGregor to come train at the boxing club. And I, for one, was thinking, what the fuck can you show McGregor for Khabib? You got nothing for Khabib. You know, Mayweather's whole gym, they got nothing for Khabib. If Conor McGregor's striking is already where it needs to be to handle Khabib on the feet. The problem is the grappling. That's what people are worried about. That's where Conor McGregor's likely going to have problems. And you ain't going to learn. You ain't going to be able to. Floyd Mayweather ain't going to teach you nothing about that. So, and then other than that, don't forget, Conor McGregor still wants to put his paws on Floyd Mayweather in the UFC. Conor McGregor clearly didn't forget. He didn't forget. A lot of us were like, yeah, we looked at it like a joke. Like, we know Floyd ain't coming over here. He knows better. But Conor McGregor was like, yo, I went to your sport. Come to my sport. There was talks of Floyd coming to the UFC, and they died down. Floyd Mayweather must have thought about it. Yeah, he thought about it. But Conor McGregor, as far as his peace offering, he said, "Fook the Mayweathers, except Senior and Roger. There is no peace here, kid. Step up or step down." Now, with that being said, except Senior and Roger, who else is there left? His kids, like Senior and Roger. Whenever Conor McGregor says "Fook the Mayweathers," I thought he was talking about Floyd, Senior, or Junior, Senior, and Roger. I thought that's who he was talking about. I don't know who the other Mayweathers are, but it looks like clearly Floyd Jr. There's no peace here. So Conor McGregor still wants smoke with Floyd Mayweather, and you would imagine why. Of course, they're gonna do great business. Conor McGregor, ain't no peace here, motherfucker. We still might have to fight again. I need another 100 million. Fuck out of here. Ain't no selfies together. It's still war. So yeah, that was a dope response from Conor McGregor, because I mean, what was he gonna do at Floyd Mayweather's gym anyway? A fucking photo op? So yeah, man, McGregor, no peace here. Fook the Mayweathers. It's still fuck the other side on McGregor's part. But moving on from that, it's always good to start off with some Conor McGregor news. Everybody loves that, especially with his fight being scheduled. But now it's time to get more into the more hardcore stuff. Speaking of news coming up, Justin Gaethje, James Vick, they had some UFC. It's not even just Gaethje and Vick. It seems like the UFC has continued low TV ratings. And one of the thoughts here for me that I've been thinking of recently is like, maybe it has to do with how there's a lot less people watching TV these days. There's a lot more people coming to the internet for their news, for their TV, for all of their entertainment. And so maybe that has something to do with it. But, I mean, either way, it seems some kind of alarming for these good fight cards. And this one wasn't the most stacked, and there was actually some competition here, which I'm going to get into. But like we saw at UFC Calgary, when we had Eddie Alvarez, Dustin Poirier 2. You had Jose Aldo, Jeremy Stevens, Joanna Jacek, Tisha Torres, Olivia I mean, it was a stacked card. OAM versus Alexander Hernandez. And it was stacked all the way through. Dana White's birthday card. But it bombed on TV, and that was free TV. It had nothing to do with the pay-per-view price. UFC 225 was a stacked pay-per-view that bombed recently as well. And we don't know what that was, but the numbers just seem to have been down. Now, one of the other things that I actually think it might be is when there's no big stars fighting, the casual fans don't give a flying. They're not thinking about the UFC. There's just too much shit out there to watch. There's so many Netflixes. There's fucking Fortnite video games. There's all the YouTube. There's so much shit to watch other than the UFC. It's hard to compete with everything these days. So with that being said, maybe when there's not a Conor McGregor or a big UFC star, Ronda Rousey, John Jones, somebody making those big headlines, people just lose interest in the UFC for whatever reason. But now that they're back, hopefully that'll start to change. But either way, Justin Gaethje versus James Vick happened this weekend, and they continued. Now, this headline might be a little deceiving. It says the lowest TV ratings in UFC history. This is a little bit of a clickbaity website. It's not about the headline. That I don't know if it's the lowest in history, but I did read somewhere it was like the third lowest. But here's what it has to say. UFC Fight Night 135 took place Saturday, August 25th. The event was featured within the Pinnacle Bank Arena in Lincoln, Nebraska, and offered a series of interesting matchups. Of course, we had Gaethje versus Vick, co-main event Johnson versus Fili. But as reported by MMA Fighting, the event has since hit a new low for the promotion concerning ratings performances. Now, and this is crazy too, for these ratings to be still going down, but that's why it's good. You have to note that this is TV ratings, because McGregor's back. So if you're thinking, well, it's only when the stars are gone, that's why the UFC's ratings are going down. That's not the case anymore either. McGregor's back. Everybody knows. So maybe, and this is just the TV ratings, maybe it has something to do with people just cutting the cord and going away from the TV. But either way, man, you could point, it really just seems like the UFC's ratings are going down all in all. Because any argument you use you can counter it with, like, nope, that's not it. Like, if you say, well, it's because the stars were gone. Nope, not anymore. McGregor's back. If you say, well, it's because people are cutting the cord, you know, it's because people don't want to pay for the pay-per-view. Now there's free events that are bombing. So it's just still seems somewhat alarming. We'll see what this means, though. Honestly, I really don't care in the long run, because I'm a fan. Regardless of all these fucking numbers, we're hardcore fans. So this really doesn't matter much. It's just a talking point. But honestly, I don't care. I'm watching these, whether the fucking casual fans or the hardcore fans are too busy. I know me personally, I want to be watching these fights. I've been watching them all. So, I mean, maybe some people feel the same way, but hey, it is what it is. If other people ain't watching. And one other thing they could have been watching, there was fucking KSI versus Logan Paul. There's a lot of losers that would rather watch that than actual legit fights. But that was actually on earlier in the day. So, but other than KSI versus Logan Paul, there was also bare knuckle boxing. That's one of the points I said earlier. There's so much shit to watch. Now we've got bare knuckle. You've got boxing. Now you got bare knuckle boxing, MMA, different MMA promotions, Bellator, fucking Oscar De La Hoya stepping in. So there's a lot more competition these days for the UFC. That could have something to do with the numbers going down. There's a whole lot of competition these days between not even the Invicta, the fucking what's the World Series of Fighting now, or the LFA. The LFA, you got the PFL. Like, there's a lot of competition these days. UFC, you know what I'm saying? So, who really knows what it is? But either way, I'm tuning in, right? I know a lot of you guys feel the same way. Some people might not. That weird guy says, it's oversaturation. We used to only get a few fights a year. Now one basically every week, and most people be streaming nowadays anyway. That's a good point, too. Fight every week. Of course, you're not going to get the same numbers as, you know, because people aren't just fucking starving. And even when there isn't UFC for 1 or 2 weeks, there's going to be like when there was a break from the UFC, there was a 2-week break for UFC. But in the middle of that, in that break, in the meantime, we had a Bellator card and a PFL card. So there's just so much MMA. It's not even just really, because yeah, if the UFC's not having fights, then their competition is. Then Bellator's probably gonna, you know, there's gonna be more attention on their competition. So if the UFC doesn't put out all these fight cards, then maybe those fans that are, you know, it's just gonna be kind of helping Bellator or the PFL, or people are gonna watch. If people want to watch the fights, they're gonna watch fights whether it's the UFC or not. If they're not on, I know I watched the Bellator while I was at work for Bellator, but the PFL for sure we had to watch. Everybody Loves Drugs says, in less a year. I lost my house for picking James Vick, says Obey Saint. Chill. Chill. James Vick, speaking of the loss, though, damn, I hope not, man. I hope not. James Vick, reflecting on his Justin Gaethje loss, maybe humbled a little bit. He said, this all still feels like a bad dream. Now, one of the things I thought about, you know, because of course everybody pointed out the fact James Vick was talking trash and got knocked out. Of course, when you talk trash, James Gallagher, a lot of these trash talkers have starched in the first round. Actually, I didn't even think about James Gallagher and James Vick both starched in the first round. But both of them have been talking trash. And yo, trash talkers have not been getting the best in these days lately. I mean, I wonder if this is a sign of things to come, because, you know, I was kind of thinking as far as McGregor and Khabib is concerned, leading up to the fight, I might start leaning toward McGregor. He might do something to convince me, but the more, like, I picked Khabib in my early prediction, and the more it goes, I'm comfortable with my pick. Like, I don't know if the mystique of Conor McGregor is just going to be enough for me to pick him against Khabib. So that's going to be crazy, but either way, trash talkers have been going down, and one of the things about James Vick going down is I wondered how he was going to take this loss. We saw Conor McGregor lost, took it like a champ. Dominic Cruz lost, took it like a champ. James Gallagher lost, even took that shit like a champ. Showed up in person on Ariel Hill One. He showed the next day. Great interview. Yeah, I got knocked out, but guess what? It is what it is, motherfuckers. You guys wouldn't even be tuning in if I wasn't saying it. You win some, you lose some, but you live to fight another day. So I was wondering, is James Vick going to, like, go in a shell after this, after talking all that trash? If it would be smart to make, like, the people we've seen recently and come out and take this loss on the chin, but, you know, at the same time still be confident in what you did. And, like, yeah, and not fucking turn around and do a 360. Like, man, I shouldn't have been talking shit, go in the shell, you know. So it's good to see him posting a statement. And this is his statement that he posted. He said, Well, 2 days later, and this all still feels like a bad dream. The old me years ago would have went into isolation for a couple of weeks and ignored everything in life. But things have changed. I am now an adult with a beautiful family and serious responsibilities. My son is 4.5 months old now, and I have missed half his life, gone away to training camps. My girl has been so strong and amazing, holding our family down and taking care of our son all by herself. All of her family is back home in Hawaii, where she's from, and my family lives 2 hours away, so she's pretty much did it all on her own. She's an amazing mother, and I love my family so much. I was beat but not broken. I'm still 9-2 in the UFC, only 31 years old, and many great years of fighting ahead of me. And most importantly, I've never lost my passion for this fight game and still love it as much as the first day I started. I will rise from this, show my son not to give up when times get hard, and will continue to work hard and give my family the best life possible in the future and make sure they never need the lack of anything they need in life. Now, I don't think James Vick took it as well, of course, as these other guys. We've seen them show up at the press conference, or even in the interview the next day, and so we'll see if James Vick, he still has. We'll see how he returns. He might be taking some time off, like it looks like from this post with his family, but we'll see how he returns from this. He did make a good point. He is still 9-2 in the UFC. That's a great record. But yeah, man, hell of a loss there for in the main event against Justin Gaethje. So we'll see what's next for him. But that was his statement, and he at least he's saying something after the loss and not just fucking going into a shell, because that would look a lot worse, especially after talking all that trash. But yeah, man. Still staying on that topic. Forward is in here. All work is what? Easy work. But I know you ain't talking about Booger Bash 2018. Now you're talking about Floyd. I know. Stamina MC, Ronda's silence over Joanna's delusion 100 times over. Forward says, we in this bitch. What's good, full-time family? Not much. Cool of fool. Ronda Rousey lost and then lost her fucking mind. Yeah, man. Infamous dude, don't start with that MMA karma nonsense. Better fighter won on the night. Yeah, no, I'm not starting with it. I'm just saying it's just been a trend lately. Chat shit, get banged, says Stamina MC. That's what I'm saying. Let's go. Justin Gaethje has a message for Iaquinta and Kevin Lee. Recently, Justin Gaethje knocked out James Vick, as we were just talking about, and after that, Kevin Lee sent him a message with the money. The money signs like, hey, that's a potential fight now. It's a top contender. He's back in the mix. He's not on a losing streak. He looked amazing. Now he's a big fight again for a top contender like Kevin Lee, who's actually looking for a fight. He was supposed to be fighting at UFC 229, but the UFC booked Pettis versus Ferguson, so I don't know if there's still an opponent for Kevin Lee, because those were only 3 guys open. But now that Justin Gaethje came out healthy, we got a fight. The only other name out there was Iaquinta, but he's selling houses and doing a podcast, and he's fighting when he wants. So you can't really just hold your breath for an Iaquinta fight. But now Kevin Lee and Justin Gaethje, that makes a lot of sense. But as far as Iaquinta and Kevin Lee, Justin Gaethje has a message. He said, I better fight Kevin Lee or Iaquinta before they even think about fighting each other. Al backed out and Kevin is next. Oh shit, it looks like he's DTF. He's down to fight Gaethje versus Lee. Make it happen. I don't know when, I don't know where, but that's the fight that's probably going down. Unless Iaquinta, hops in the mix. But Lee and Gaethje are the higher ranked fighters. That makes the most sense. But everyone loves watching Al fight. So if he gets booked, we'll all be excited. Obey Saint says, who do you think Al is fighting next, since Lee might fight Justin and Ferguson has Pettis now? I don't know. It's hard to know who, because we don't know if he's looking for a fight. If he's looking for a fight, you would look at the possible opponents. You'd look at the top 15, like, okay, who's open? But he might not even be looking for a fight at this point. If he was like, yo, I need an opponent for this date, then, but yeah, I don't even know. So, and I say that because it could be the winner or loser of one of these upcoming fights. Pettis and Ferguson are fighting. He could fight the loser of that fight. He could fight, you know what I'm saying? Since there's time for him to get scheduled for a fight, there's a lot of potential opponents, but that's a good one. Just to give you one, it could be the loser of Pettis and Ferguson. There's not a lot of options available in the top 10. Or Iaquinta versus Barboza when Barboza's ready to come back. I mean, if he's trying to move up a little. There's a lot of fights. I'm sure people would love to fight Iaquinta. It's just about when he wants to fight. If he feels like he's getting respected, getting the right fight, getting paid right, Jukebox Johnny in the building says, hope that fight happens. Lee would win easily. That'd be a good fight. I don't know if Lee would win easily, I don't know if he would win easily. That's a close fight. I don't know, man. You think Lee would beat Gaethje, or are you talking about Iaquinta? I don't know if Lee beats fucking Gaethje as easy as you think. That'd be a good fight, though. It would be a good fight. I do hope it happens. Al versus Justin would be a better fight. That'd be a fun fight for sure. But yeah, so that's Gaethje's message to Al Iaquinta and Motown Phenom. We shall move on to the next topic, family. Forward says, even though I'm like the only Kevin Lee fan, I see Justin getting that W. I'm a big Kevin Lee fan as well, but like I don't know who gets the W in that fight. I don't know if I just pick Justin in that fight. I might give the edge to Kevin Lee, but I don't see it being easy by any means. And I also could see Gaethje winning the fight. We just saw Gaethje knock out James Vick in the first round. We've seen Kevin Lee rock. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not like he's just got an iron chin dominating everybody he fights. He's been looking great. He does dominate fights, but when he gets rocked, he gets rocked. So, I mean, that fight can go either way. There's no way you can count either one of them out of that fight. That'd be a fucking great fight, and that's why it's got to happen. It makes sense. Both of them coming off wins. Let's fucking go. Makes all the sense in the world. You got Pettis, you got Ferguson up here, you got McGregor and Khabib doing their thing. Like, let's go. Let's fight. I'm down. It's a big fight. We all want to see it too. We all want to see it. We've seen how many different opinions just in 4 people. We've had like 4 different opinions. Somebody thinks Gaethje wins. Somebody thinks, and that's a Lee fan that thinks Gaethje wins. You've got somebody that thinks Lee wins easy. You got me. I don't know who the fuck wins. So like all these, that's how you know it's a great fight when nobody knows what's really going to happen and everybody has an opinion. Can't wait. Gaethje versus Lee. Now, Iaquinta, he might mix things up, but I think that's the better fight to make. That would be a really good fight. Says Infamous, I know, man. Let's fucking go. But sticking to UFC Lincoln just a little bit, Andre Fili and Michael Johnson, they didn't like each other coming into this fight. They were talking shit at the weigh-ins leading up to the fight, and that's Michael Johnson. He does that with a lot of his opponents. I think, I don't think it's a personal thing because, like I said, it's always leading up to his fights. He's saying some pretty hateful. I remember leading up to the Gaethje fight, he was talking about some inbred shit. Like, he gets under his opponent's skin. It might be Dustin Poirier. Leading up to the Dustin Poirier fight, he fucking pissed Dustin Poirier off to the point to where it actually worked in his favor in that fight. He knocked Dustin Poirier out in the first round, and Dustin Poirier was like, yo, I don't think I've ever been that pissed off going into a fight. I really let my fucking emotions get the best of me in that fight. And so there's a trend of Michael Johnson really getting under his opponent's skin. And Andre Fili was no different. At the weigh-ins, Michael Johnson did or said something because Fili was like, I'm coming straight at you, motherfucker. Like, they was in each other's face, and even after the fight, they've got some words. This is what Andre Fili had to say. I won that fight plain and simple. My preparation was perfect, and my performance was superior. The universe provides challenges and rewards for us the way we react and navigate through them. All I'm going to keep focusing on is what I can control. I'm hungrier than ever, and I'll be back better than ever. Thank you to everyone who had my back. I love y'all. With that said, Michael Johnson, you hit like a bitch and you act like a bitch, and I'm ready to crack it off anytime. Yo, Fili Johnson too or not? Yo, what are you talking about? And one of the judges actually gave that fight to fucking Fili, 30-27. It was a split decision for Michael Johnson, but one of the judges scored it a 30-27 for Fili. That might be a little crazy, but that's still, it was a close fight for sure. But Michael Johnson responded. He said, lions don't concern themselves with the opinions of sheep. I don't care what the hell this little kid says. Okay, yeah, you know what I'm saying? He got the win. He ain't responding too much, but I would like to see the rematch. And Fili definitely is down. He's down for it for sure. So a little fire from Fili after losing that split decision. That was a much-needed win for Michael Johnson, I'll tell you that much. But that was last weekend. Coming up this weekend, where you at, Forward? Booger Bash 2018 UFC 228 Darren Till. We got Darren Till versus Tyron Woodley, and of course we got Kamaru Usman hanging around in the mix. Now, with that being said, Tyron Woodley recently came out and said, I'm not fighting fucking Kamaru Usman on 24 hours notice. I'm not going from fighting a 6'3" striker who I've been preparing for because I'm a champion, and that's how I got here, by preparing for fights and getting ready for my opponent. When I fought Wonderboy, I game planned for Wonderboy. When I fought Maya, I game planned for Maya. You guys want me to fight Till? You put him in this fight after he missed weight? Well, I'm game planning for that guy. Don't give me this fucking switching from a 6'3" striker to a 5'11" wrestler on 24 hours notice. He said, I'll fight Till. And this is a part that a lot of people missed. And listening to a Chael Sonnen video, he pointed this out. You know, Papa Chael always there to bring down the knowledge. But Tyron Woodley said, I'm fighting Till regardless. Now, he's saying even if Darren Till misses weight, I'm fighting Till because that's what I prepared for. And you should know that's true of Tyron Woodley. When Kelvin Gastelum missed weight by 10 pounds, Tyron Woodley still fought him. And then not only did he beat him by split decision, he gave him his money back. It's like, look, I'm not here to take this kid's money. He's got a camp. He's got a family to feed. He's got a fucking camp he has to pay. I'm not trying to take this kid's money. I got the win. Here, take your money back for missing weight by 10 pounds. 10 pounds, and he's giving him his money back. That's something that goes under the radar a lot. Either way, though, he still fought him. Tyron Woodley's not a guy that if you miss weight, especially by no damn 1 or 2 pounds, he's going to pull out of the fight. And usually fighters get criticized for that. Oh, if you miss weight, and if someone misses weight and they pull out, it's like, oh, you should have still fought him by a couple of pounds. It is what it is. And that's what Woodley's saying, too. Like, I'm not going to switch opponents. Instead, I would just rather fight Darren Till if he's overweight by 2 pounds instead of switching to Usman because you guys want to fucking throw in this lottery fight. And I get that. Now, the caveat there is, what if Darren Till gets injured? That's the caveat there. Now, I get it. If Darren Till misses weight, you still want to fight Till because that's who you prepared for. That makes sense from the champ Tyron Woodley. Now, if Darren Till gets injured, that's where it's like, okay, now do you fight Usman? Because that's really what he's here for. If something happens, to step in to save the main event. So if he gets injured now, would Woodley fight him? I still think he might say no, you know, because it's short notice, completely different opponent. So then if that is the case, you wonder, well, what the hell is Usman there for, I guess? And well, this will tell you, because Darren Till said if Tyron Woodley, he understands why Woodley won't, but he said, I'll fight Usman. And if you know Darren Till, you know he ain't fucking lying. He would have fought Usman before this. Darren Till, if you did listen, he's been saying, I'll fight any of these dudes. I don't care. I'll fucking fight Masvidal, Usman, Woodley, Perry. I don't care what about the ranking. Darren Till just loves to scrap. He loves to bang. And so I really do believe he would fight Kamaru Usman on a fucking day's notice in a parking lot or in the UFC. I just think that's who Darren Till is. Usually it's his team, and it's good he has a good team because he's got a lot of potential. His team or the UFC that's like, whoa, chill. You don't got to fight them on such short notice. So, or not even just short notice, or just at this time. So, but Darren Till is saying he would fight Usman on short notice. Now, you have to wonder, though, if it wasn't time to fight Usman in the past, you know what I'm saying? Because there was a time when Darren Till needed an opponent. We were still waiting on the Wonderboy fight, and Usman was open, but Usman said that the UFC they had other plans. So, if there was a reluctance in the past to book Usman versus Till, you have to wonder if they would still book Usman versus Till now on 24 hours notice. They didn't want to do it with the full camp, so now it would be happening on 24 hours notice. So either way, it's a new fun thing. I'm down to see how this plays out. Kamaru Usman on the sidelines, if he gets to step in. If he doesn't, by the way, Darren Till is DTF. He says, if I'm down, and I believe him. So, and to save the main event, that could happen. Now, the question, though, becomes, if Tyron Woodley goes out, that's how this would happen. Is it still for a belt? Is it still for a title? Is Darren Till versus Kamaru Usman even? Because normally, if the champ gets injured, okay, someone might step in and it would be for an interim title. But at welterweight specifically, we've got like a fake interim champion in Colby Covington. I mean, that fight was arguable, even if it should have been for the interim title fight. Now it was, and now he's the interim champ. And so it would kind of be hard to, you would be stripping the interim champion to make another interim title for the, you know, so that would be weird, actually, if Kamaru Usman ended up fighting Darren Till, if Tyron Woodley crazily fucking slipped on a cord and got injured. Because we're pretty close to the fight. There's only about 4 days. The hard sparring and shit is over. Only way Tyron Woodley doesn't make it to the fight at this point is if he gets injured, God forbid, and I don't think that's going to happen unless he slips on a cord. That's literally it. It's not going to be from training and even missing weight. Tyron Woodley's never done that, so I don't see him missing weight. So, and if Darren Till misses weight, the fight's still on. Woodley still wants to fight Till, so we'll see what that really leaves here for Usman. But either way, Usman's ready to fight. You know what I'm saying? So maybe even if he doesn't get an opportunity here, he'll get booked sometime soon. Maybe versus the loser of this fight. You know, the winner of this fight could end up actually fighting Covington. So maybe Usman could even, you know, there's a lot of shit that could play out after UFC 228. But either way, Darren Till said he would fight Kamaru Usman, but he's understanding the safe champion Tyron Woodley's logic. He said, Usman's the backup for me. To be honest, I don't really care. I feel like I'm the only fighter that's ever missed weight in the UFC, to be honest. When we talk about weight now, it's Darren Till. I missed weight. People need to just get over it. And I got to stop right there because the only reason that it's such a big deal is because he's missed weight and got a title shot. You know, really, it was Mackenzie Dern who was the face of missing weight until Darren Till got this title shot, and everyone's like, what? Wait, he missed weight. How's he getting a title shot? That's really the only reason this is a big deal, because you're getting a title shot off of missing weight. It's not because you missed weight. You missed weight. It is what it is. No one, you know, Mackenzie Dern, she was starting to be the face of, if you guys remember, man, it was crazy. Like, Mackenzie Dern was the butt of every missing weight joke. Darren Till actually managed to steal the title. He is the face of it for right now, but that's just because he's getting a title shot. He says, Usman is there and ready by some chance. I miss weight. Tyron says he's not going to fight him, I've seen. It is what it is. They've got the backup. They've told him, and he's doing what he's told. I'm not arsed. I'm just focused on Friday, making 170, then Saturday going in and absolutely destroying Tyron Woodley. I try to say it like him at the end. That's all I'm focusing on now. I'm focusing on what I wish I could talk like Darren Till. This would be so much better in his accent. I'm not going to fucking do it, though, because if it sounds, I don't want to ruin it. He says, that's all I'm focusing on now. I'm not focusing on what she says or what he says online or what Usman says or what anybody says. I don't really care. It's Darren, I don't care Till. Hey, yo, somebody put that nickname out there. I didn't realize he actually said that. He said, it's Darren, I don't care Till. I seen someone make that joke. They're like, Darren, I don't care Till. I don't care about making weight. I don't care about my family. It was a joke, of course, but it's Darren, I don't care Till. Darren, I don't care Till. I see that. Forward says Till is a knockout artist. Damn near knocked out every UFC opponent. It's not inconceivable for Woodley to get dropped and finished. It's definitely not inconceivable, but at the same time, is it even likely? It's not inconceivable, but is it likely? You think he's going to? Just because he's dropped each of his opponents, he's never fought. And actually, you said he's damn near knocked out every UFC opponent. He dropped Wonderboy once, right? But I don't think he damn near knocked Wonderboy out. He definitely, all of his previous fights I have watched in the UFC, he dropped all them motherfuckers, almost had him out of there finishing the fight, maybe saved by the bell. Stamina said conceivable, yes. Likely, no. Let's go. That's what I'm saying, Stamina. Although Silva Miocic looked near invincible and all got KO. I don't think people look at Woodley as invincible. Maybe some people do. Maybe some people do, but a lot of people feel like Woodley's on the way out the door. And you know that fact. If people were looking at Woodley like he was invincible, he might be a bigger favorite. I mean, Darren Till's only fought one top 5 contender, and he's damn near fucking even money to fight Tyron Woodley, the champion, who's fought Wonderboy twice, arguably did better, did great against Maya. He's fought a lot more styles. He fought Robbie. I mean, Tyron Woodley's did a lot in his career as well. I don't think he's really looked at as invincible. But hey, man, it's going to be a great fight. Let's go. Stamina MC says, full-time stop with the accent. You burn our flag every time you do it. Chill, dog. No, man, I was on point. I think it's funny when people fuck up accents. I might have to do that, but it also can get disrespectful. But just having fun. Forward says, damn near knocked down every opponent. Check the message. Wait, you say knocked down? Damn near. No, dog. I'm reading the message right here. He says, damn near knocked out every UFC opponent. I'm literally reading the message. He said, damn near knocked out. He said, check the message. Like, no, I had it. I had it right. Obey Saint says, Woodley is the most beatable champion considering the killers in his division. That's what I'm saying. He's not looked at as an invincible. And it's kind of crazy because the lightweight's the most stacked division, and people really look at McGregor and Khabib as the guys that are the killers. And not just them, but as far as how deep that division is, those guys are beatable on any given day depending on the matchup. Now, Khabib, that might be a different story. He's a fucking monster. We've seen what he's did to his opposition. But considering the matchup, they could any given fucking Sunday. We saw Brandon Davis stepping up to fight Zabit. It's going to be a tough-ass matchup, but anything can happen in this crazy fucking sport, dog. But, yeah, the welterweight division, though, yeah, there's killers up there for sure, and there's more killers coming up. That wasn't always the case. Tyron Woodley's kind of been defending the title, shuffling the deck a little bit. He was before he got injured, but now we got new faces, Usman, Till, Covington. Before that, it was the fucking Lawlers, the RDAs, Maya, there was a lot of other tough dudes up there that have been getting kind of knocked down, but there's new blood at welterweight. It's a tough division. Forward says, damn near kiss my ass. That W is coming. Let's go, man. Gorilla Smash 2018, Booger Bash 2018. It's this Saturday, UFC 228. And either way, it looks like we're going to have a scrap. Oh, hopefully. Like I said, unless somebody slips on the cord, the only thing that can happen is the weight cut. You know what, guys, I'm thinking about right now? It's kind of interesting going into a fight with fucking... It makes the weigh-ins that much more interesting. Whether it's a Mackenzie Dern fight, Darren Till fight, Johnny Hendricks, anybody. It makes it that much more interesting because I'm like, it makes you want to watch the weigh-ins. It's like you actually... Normally it's the weigh-ins or the weigh-ins. You know, the fights are coming up. You know, the fighters made weight, that's a good deal. But whenever Darren Till's coming up, it's like, yo, I almost want to get my fucking popcorn for the weigh-ins. Like, yo, what's going to happen? You know what I'm saying? Like, this actually has the weigh-ins pretty fun. Jorge 1 in the motherfucking building. I don't know why you're not a fucking moderator yet. That's pretty crazy. And 199 in the super chat. What the fuck is this? The money channel? Are we crazy? What's going on? Thank you very much for the 199 in the super chat, Jorge 1. You, sir, got amongst men. EVS Rock says, Jay Hendrick is the best to watch at weigh-ins. That's what I'm saying. It makes it fun. It makes you actually want to, like, fucking tune in. Chris Crook says, I should be a moderator. Yeah, you should too. You should too. You should too. You definitely day one. Let's go. I got you. All right. Now, you see some people about, how come they got to be moderators, motherfucker? Because I know them. You know what I'm saying? Day one since A1. But yeah, I've seen some new people asking. But hey, it is what it is. You know how that goes. We're moving on. We got more MMA news to talk about. And someone said I should put that in the title. I'm going to take your advice. You know, I take good advice, constructive criticism. But 29 people watching, 14 thumbs up. Do me a favor. If you're finished biting your bagels, hit that thumbs up button. If you know what I'm saying? If not, wait till you're done. Don't hit thumbs up if you're still biting your bagels. But when you're done, hit that thumbs up. And we'll move on. Daniel Cormier still plans on defending his UFC light heavyweight title before his Brock Lesnar fight. And here's my thing, man. Motherfucker, against who? I fuck with DC. I'm a big DC fan. You guys know I've been defending DC since before defending DC was cool. But right now, it's almost to the point where it's like, and he just recently fought. But this is the thing. We've got a lot of light heavyweight contenders like, hey, I'll fight. And DC's healthy. That's the only reason I really asked this, because DC's healthy. That's the only reason I'm like, okay, well, if we're going to defend our title, motherfucker, against who? We got 3 people as far as light heavyweight. He said he's not fighting Gustafsson. Latifi and Anderson, 2 other possible opponents, just got booked against each other. Shogun, who he said he would fight, lost. Anthony Smith just got booked. Let's pull up the... So it's like, even though he's saying he's going to, now there's almost not even an opponent. And then by the time there is an opponent, unless he's going to fight Gustafsson. But he said he doesn't want to. Like he said, you're one person I'm not going to fight because of whatever reason. He didn't want to fight Anthony Smith on short notice, even though he revealed he was injured. But DC doesn't want to fight Gustafsson. They don't do great business. That's another reason he said in the past. Well, let's pull up the rankings, though, because at light heavyweight, like we've been hearing about this now, and this is why I asked. Because if you're not going to defend the light heavyweight title, what are you going to do? Are you going to hold up the division? So you got Gustafsson. He said he's not fighting him. Ozdemir, he's booked to fight. Oh, and he just fought Cormier. So I don't know, Ozdemir's not really an option regardless. I thought I had my fucking lid off. So, but I think he's also booked to fight, though. Yeah, he's fighting Anthony Smith. So there's a lot of potential opponents. The winner of that fight, if Smith beats Ozdemir, he could get a title shot. Latifi, he's up there. He had a big win over OSP, but Latifi is now booked to fight, who do we just say? Latifi versus Anderson. He's fighting Corey Anderson. Jan Blachowicz, like, there's nobody really for Cormier to fight at this point. So he's said now multiple times that he's down to defend that title, but now there's not an opponent. So it's like, I'm willing to defend it, and he has accepted the fights verbally. Like, yo, Corey Anderson, yeah, I'll fight you. Talk to the UFC. Hey, I'll fight all you guys. Talk to the UFC. They hit up the UFC, and they're like, nah, we got other plans. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, now there doesn't seem to be an opponent for DC to fight at light heavyweight unless John Jones comes back, which we're all still fucking wondering if that's going to happen. But yeah, man, DC has plans to defend the title before the Brock Lesnar fight. But Brock Lesnar, his suspension is going to be up, or suspension, his testing period. You saw the testing pool. He's in the pool. He's not eligible to fight until January, mid-January, like January 20th, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around there, mid-January. So, he's got to fight sooner rather than later if he's going to fight before then, because he can't fight in fucking November, because what if he gets banged up in the fight? Then he can't fight Brock Lesnar in January. He can't fight in December, November, really, either one of those months. He's risking his Brock Lesnar fight. So he's going to have to fight sooner rather than later if he is going to defend this title. But now there's not really an opponent. So it's like, what are we going to have? Because now what happens if there's not an opponent and it's like, all right, well, now I can't fight. It's December. Got to fight Brock Lesnar. Is he just going to hold on to the title like McGregor? It's really starting to feel like that. He might just be holding on to it. You know what I'm saying? Because we'll see what happens. But he said for me to go back down, it's going to be difficult to defend this belt. But I do plan on doing it. He was on live on Kelly and Ryan. Yo, this shit was so funny. I wish I could play it without fear of copyright strikes, but it was so funny. If you didn't see this, look for the clip on YouTube somewhere. And he reenacted the Stipe knockout with Ryan and Kelly. And so he like showed them how to do it and had them do it on each other. And it was just so funny to see Kelly like knock out the Ryan dude. Like she didn't actually, of course, hit him all the way, but it was just funny to see them reenact it. So DC, he was killing it on that show, man. He's got, you know how like what's his name? Strahan went from the NFL to like talk show. DC could do some big shit like that, like some legit big future outside of fighting. And hey, he's on the way out the door. So, but he was on Ryan and Kelly. But that's where he also said that. He said, I'm 39 years old, so for a long time, I thought about being remembered as one of the greats. And by doing this, I'm always going to be remembered as my career ends. But yeah, he says he does plan on doing it as far as going back down. But right now, he says, honestly, I'm a heavyweight. I weigh 245 pounds normally, but I cut down to 205 when I fight. So I lose 40 pounds to fight at that weight class. So, I mean, he just fought at his normal weight when he fought at heavyweight. He just didn't cut the weight. And so it's nothing for him to go back down. Of course, it's difficult because you're fucking cutting all that weight. But he's done it many times. That's literally how he became the light heavyweight champion. So he said he's willing. But like I just pointed out, I don't know if there's an opponent. So we'll see if that happens or if he just kind of, you know, parades. I mean, he is DC, fucking double champ. So maybe he'll just hold that belt for a little while longer. But with all these light heavyweight titles booked, you can imagine every one of these guys on the call-outs calling DC out, fucking defend or vacate. And now with these the two fights we just saw that are booked, man, we really got like a light heavyweight Grand Prix going on right now. It's not for the belt, but look, between Ozdemir versus Smith, Latifi versus Anderson, the winner of those fights square off. They could, you know, the winner of those fights could potentially fight for a vacant title, or they could just square off in another #1 contender fight. The winner of those fights fight, and the winner of that fights DC. But by that time, I'm sure he's going to be fighting Brock. So, but if DC ever does vacate it, like I said, this could be what we're looking at. We got like a light heavyweight title going on. Those are two #1 contender fights right there. If Smith, like for real, those are some good fights. I mean, only person not in, that's who you got to worry about, though, is Alexander Gustafsson. Where does he play into those fights? You know, so he's the only guy that's still up there, but DC's not fighting him. So maybe the winner of those fights fight and then fight Gustafsson. Who knows, man? It'll be interesting to see how this division plays out. But DC said he's willing to defend the title. Gustafsson's open. I mean, fuck it. The only thing holding us from a Gustafsson fight is DC like, nah, I don't want to fight you. He's the #1 contender. All these other guys are booked. He's willing to defend the title. Hey, Gustafsson, let's do it. He might be gifted a belt, says EBS Brock. Infamous says they probably gave Due a deadline to accept a 205 fight. Yeah, they'll probably give him a deadline. All right, DC, you're saying you'll defend. We've been needing title fights. Actually, Madison Square Garden, we'd love to have the double champ back. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if Cormier versus Gustafsson would headline Madison Square Garden just because they didn't do great business. Now, of course, DC's the double champ. He's, of course, could headline Madison Square Garden. But with the co-main event of Nate Diaz versus Poirier, maybe just Cormier being the double champ would raise the stature of that fight or the status of that fight to being worthy of a main event over Nate Diaz return and also on Madison Square Garden. But DC has pointed out in the past, which is another reason he's been reluctant, that they don't do great business. So Stamina MC says no point giving DC a 205 deadline if he's given his own anyway. Yeah, he's given his own deadline on retirement. But yeah, as far as 205, and that's another thing you got to keep in mind. We're only really putting the pressure on him because he's healthy. And I say that because he literally just fought at UFC 226, but that was at heavyweight. So that's where the light heavyweight pressure comes from. But yeah, there's a lot of fighters that, honestly, with these fights booked and Gustafsson being open, you know, like I said, we'll have to see who he fights next. But either way, just something to keep our eyes on. DC saying he's willing, though. And also, he was on a talk show. He could have just been answering the hard. He could look like, nah, I'm not going to defend. I just want to hold my, like Ryan and Kelly. So, you're the champ right now, or the double champ, DC. Do you still plan on fighting in both weight classes? No, actually, I'm just going to hold on to this belt while these guys, you know, fucking, you know, admire my fucking work while I fight Brock Lesnar. Like, you know, that's definitely the right answer. But no, I do believe DC. I do think he's willing. He's not one to duck his taco at all. He even told Corey Anderson, get with the UFC. Let's set it up, young man. So we'll see what happens. But Anthony Pettis demanding the UFC start respecting his brother, the number 2 ranked flyweight in the world, Sergio Pettis. And I kind of see what he's saying, but this has got nothing personal. The UFC's not disrespecting Sergio Pettis. It's the flyweights. We've noted this in the past. There was 2 top 5 ranked flyweights fighting on the Fight Pass card, and like no ranked fighters at one time or something or the other, or low ranked fighters on the main card. Like, the flyweights just don't get placed high on cards. It's been the case for a while. The UFC, whether it's the size or whatever, people just aren't as interested, and the UFC has pointed this out in the past. In the lower division, we saw Demetrius Johnson, the champion for the longest time, never did great business compared to when you look at some of the heavyweights who, even though their fights aren't always the most entertaining, they get a lot more respect. And so it's not a Sergio Pettis thing. I can go back to fight card after fight card where you see flyweights, even though they're in the top 10 ranked, they find themselves on the Fight Pass and shit like that. But speaking on Ariel Helwani's MMA show, Anthony Showtime Pettis, who's going to be also fighting on the same night as his brother Sergio Pettis. Sergio Showtime Pettis sounds a lot better just because the S. I don't even, what's Sergio's nickname? I don't even know it off the top of my head. But Sergio Showtime has a ring too. Either way, Anthony Showtime Pettis and Sergio Pettis are going to be fighting on the same night at UFC 229. Sergio Pettis taking on Jussier Formiga. Anthony Pettis now taking on Tony Ferguson. But this is what Anthony Pettis had to say. He said, the UFC, I don't know what Sergio has to do to get on the main card. He's number 2 in the world. He's fighting number 5 or number 6 in the world, and they're fighting on the undercard. Show the kid some respect. He's busting his ass. I see how hard he's working. It's kind of offensive to see him on the undercard. Now, this is a situation where it's good to have a bigger brother in the UFC that's actually got a little bit of pull. He's not the biggest star in the world anymore, but he is still Showtime Pettis because he's sticking up for you. A lot of these other flyweights, they're getting disrespected the exact same way. Like I said, it's not personal against Sergio Pettis. They just don't got big brother Showtime Pettis to speak out and say, hey, yo, what the fuck's going on with here? But that's something that we've noted in the past. But yeah, man, it's gonna be a good card with both brothers. And Sergio Pettis, there's a lot more respect on his name, especially after that win over Joseph Benavidez. He wasn't the number. It's not like he's been the fucking number 2 ranked guy, number 5 ranked guy in the world for 5 years. Just, you know what I'm saying? Like, just in there, like a Damian Maia type character who's been at the top of divisions for, or even for 2 years. 5 years is a long time to remain in the top 5, but it's not like Sergio Pettis has just been fucking hanging in the balance like Joseph Benavidez or someone like that for the last few years, and he's just been getting put on undercard after undercard. He actually just beat Joseph Benavidez to get into the top 5, so give him some time. But no, also, like I said, it's not personal. It's a flyweight thing. But either way, he might even get some more respect. We'll see at the end of the year. There is a big card coming up at the end of the year in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And if I'm not mistaken, that's where the Pettis brothers are from. So one of them could very well headline that card. Hometown card. And Anthony Pettis, shit, if he wins his fight versus Tony Ferguson, there's no way he's headlining a fight in that card. He's on the way for a damn title fight or something like that. He's going to be on a pay-per-view. But maybe if Anthony Pettis loses to Tony Ferguson, which is also a very real possibility, he might even headline the card. Or maybe the Pettis brothers could both be on that card again. They're both fighting here at UFC 229. Bring the party back to Milwaukee. We'll see what happens. Stamina MC says, gentlemen, let's leave the fighting to the professionals, please. Well, we got people in here. It looks like we got an Alexander Gustafsson debate going on in the full-time family group chat. If you lose by split decision and give the GOAT his hardest fight, you're not a gatekeeper. He's shown he can possibly beat them. Yeah, I don't look at Gustafsson as a gatekeeper either, man. I'm a person that agrees. When he fought John Jones, that was for sure the toughest fight I've ever seen John Jones in. And he didn't. I actually felt like DC beat him a little more handily in that, but still, it was a good fight. So I for sure feel like Gustafsson. Now, he hasn't been the most active. That's one knock against Gustafsson if you're just being completely fair and unbiased. He's definitely one of the best light heavyweights in the world, but he's only fought like one time a year, and maybe it's because he is waiting on a title fight, but at the same time, at some point, you expect someone like can we get 2 fights a year or something, but it is what, and that's one of the things Cormier pointed out as well. Like, I've defended my title more times than you've even fought in the last few years. So, but I still do agree that he's one of the best light heavyweights in the world. So, and he could always be the guy for the title fight because of his skills. He just hasn't been super active. I keep fucking putting my lid on and forgetting. Chris Crook says Gus versus Jones and DC were close fights. He got fucked up. Nasty ass KO says Forward, talking to somebody else though. Johnny Thompson responding to Jeannie, I ain't cool with you. Forward says Gus got the W on one of the judges' scorecards versus DC. Whenever I watched the John Jones fight, I was a lot, I don't know why. I was like, yo, this fight might go to Gustafsson. I thought the judges might actually give that fight to Alexander Gustafsson. But yeah, and by the way, guys, the metal of the show, this is time. Whatever happened to our cheek break? Oh yeah, I scrolled through Instagram one time and there wasn't really many cheeks. I mean, UFC cheeks. We got to keep it MMA related. But we got our halftime show. But I was gonna use the halftime to remind you guys after the show, I'm gonna be doing a UFC 4 watch party, watching it live on a live stream. If any of you guys just wanted to watch some shit, that's what I'm gonna be doing. But I'm gonna be doing it on another channel because I don't want to get our live streaming privilege taken away on this one. But yeah, if you're interested, I'll remind you guys at the end of the chat. I'm gonna be watching UFC 4 live on YouTube until we get taken down. It might not work for very long. Either way, I'm going to be watching it after, but I figured, hey, we might actually get away with it. I'm not going to keep it up, of course, and I'm going to use a channel that is a lot smaller. It's got like 100 subscribers, so yeah. But just a reminder to everybody, let me go to MMA Imports. They usually got a halftime break for us. I got y'all, full-time family. It's a sausage fest in here. Let's break up the monotony. There we go. You can always count on MMA Imports, you know what I'm saying? Good job, mods. What, is there somebody in here getting timed out or something? X's BMX says, holla, full-time. What's going on, Exist BMX? What's going on? But yeah, here we go, full-time family. Uh-oh, Pearl Gonzalez celebrating. Can't be played either way. Put some respect on Pearl Gonzalez. She's fighting over in Invicta. Very talented. Didn't quite make it in her run in the UFC, but she's been looking great over in Invicta and on Instagram, if I must say. So, yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? Put some respect on the halftime break. Pearl Gonzalez. Make sure you follow her on Instagram. And Invicta. Make sure you watch her fights as well. Don't just be a pig. But, yeah, full-time family. We'll get back to the show now. I know you guys are dying to get back to the show, so... what were we talking about? Oh yeah, it's over here. It's Anthony Pettis and Sergio Pettis. So yeah, they're both fighting at UFC 229.
Really? Yeah, we gonna.
Hey! Don't just autoplay. Fuck around and get me copy strike. Chill. But yeah, check this out. Hey, that was a fucking great break, actually. A cheap break, a great halftime break, because I didn't even plan that specifically at that time. That wasn't even a planned part of the show. It's just a sign. But what a fucking perfect time. Boy, did we need that, because now we're about to talk about a potential grappling match between Kevin Lee and Dillon Danis. And I don't know why. I don't know if you guys hear that, but my fucking gator is going crazy downstairs. Holy shit. Holy smokes. No, I don't know why. I don't know why. I got to get the batteries checked. But I'm just saying, what a time for the break. But Kevin Lee is down for the money. Gay for pay. No, I'm just kidding. Jokes. But for a $100,000 jiu-jitsu match with Bellator's Dillon Danis, he said it's in the work, but it won't be televised unless you got a membership to Cam Sodas. No, I'm just kidding. No, but either way, UFC Kevin Lee taking on Bellator's Dillon Danis. I'm not gonna lie, that would be a great jiu-jitsu match. All jokes aside, that would be a fun jiu-jitsu match. I'm really curious to see competitively where Dillon Danis' jiu-jitsu would be against a elite UFC fighter. Of course, he's the guy that is he's known as Conor McGregor's jiu-jitsu coach. Got into it with Nate Diaz, all of that. He's great, known for his jiu-jitsu. Now he's over in Bellator, won his first fight against a can of Mountain Dew. He submitted him in the first round, did his thing. But now he's a bigger star over there in Bellator. I mean, it was a joke, but he talks about how he's Bellator's biggest star and brings in the biggest ratings, and he's Scott Coker's business partner. He's talking a lot of shit there, but at the same time, you can't deny the fact he's one of their more popular fighters. And, you know, popularity goes a long ways, whether you're in the UFC, Bellator, CM Punk. You know what I'm saying? If you're a big star for whatever reason outside, that will get you at least and maybe in good with the promotion. And that's definitely the case with Dillon Danis, who's Conor McGregor's teammate. So, of course, he has a little bit of rub. Anytime you talk about Dillon Danis, you say Conor McGregor's jiu-jitsu coach. And that doesn't matter who you're talking to, a fucking kid, a grandma, anyone who knows who Conor McGregor is. When you're talking about Dillon Danis, you say, oh, this is Conor McGregor's jiu-jitsu coach. It's going to draw attention. And so, with that being said, this would be a highly watched, in my mind, this would be a highly watched jiu-jitsu match. I don't know where it would happen. I remember John Jones versus Dan Henderson happened over at Chael Sonnen's grappling league. What is it called? Flow Grap? No, that's not. Submission Underground. Submission Underground. That's where that happened. I watched John Jones versus Dan Henderson. That was super fun. John Jones was suspended, but we got to watch him actually in some action in a jiu-jitsu match. That was like pretty cool. So I would like, if Kevin Lee versus Dillon Danis was going down on Submission Underground, I would for sure be watching. I know that, and he actually said it's in the works, Kevin Lee said. But this is what he had to say. He said, he issued, and someone said bunch of casuals. I don't know if you're responding to the chat if you're talking about my jiu-jitsu watch. I'm definitely a casual jiu-jitsu fan. I don't be watching like all of the jiu-jitsu tournaments like on Fight Pass, you know, and stuff. But did you guys recently see that High Rollers event? I think Eddie Bravo actually hosted it, where they were like smoking weed before they were rolling. I saw a little bit of that. That was pretty dope. Remove your mods, they ruin your stream, says Johnny Thompson. How are the mods ruining the stream? Yo, whoa. Somebody's on his ass. Forward is on his ass. What is he saying? Let me even see what he's talking about. Forward is a DC hater. I'm leaving here anyway. What was he? I didn't even see what was going on, dog. But if you were saying something delusional, I could see it. Infamous is a pretty ugly cross-dresser. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'll ask Forward what it was about. I don't know what he said. Somebody let me know if the blocking was legit or if he was just being hard. But yeah, Johnny is gone. He just got blocked. I don't think he got blocked. He just got timed out. But yeah, somebody let me know why. I'm doing the show, so you know, usually the mods are on it. The fool is talking out of his ass. Yeah, usually they ain't just banning people for crazy unless you come in here advertising another channel or just talking absolutely reckless out of your ass. But yeah, so he's just talking shit. If it wasn't ban worthy, hey, you know, if he's just talking shit, that's cool. But like I said, you know, the mods, they usually do their job pretty well. So I personally blocked him. Oh yeah, so. Dude was in his feelings because me and Forward thought Gus won. Okay, so yeah, man, hey, people got their own opinion. No need to get crazy. You know what I'm saying? You got your own opinion. Agree to disagree and just let it go instead of fucking antagonizing the mod. That's usually not smart. Hey, guy with the wrench by you. Fuck you, you ugly cross-dresser. Like that usually is just not, you know what I'm saying? Especially when I'm doing the show. Just chill a little bit. But he didn't ban you. So come back and just agree to disagree. But yeah, so. It's all love here, says Mr. Perfect. Ever Loves Drugs, says Johnny was getting pissed because we weren't DC fangirls. Hey, I mean, put some respect on DC's name, but at the same time, there's not really I don't know how it was, you know, no need to, like I said, get pissed and start calling everybody out of their name and shit like that. MMA debate is great, but hey, it is what it is, man. Where were we at now? See, y'all got me all up in the politics of people getting banned. Kevin Lee, Dillon Danis. Oh, I know where we were at. He said he issued the challenge, says Kevin Lee. I'm still waiting to hear back. I know his people reached out to mine, and I said I'll take it. Of course he would. $100,000, any of us would. That's a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? But that's Kevin Lee's actually bringing a high profile to the fight as well. But put it on contract. Y'all know how that goes. I think Kevin Lee would turn that. Dillon Danis is deluded. I really want to see him because I want to see if he loses. If he loses, that's going to be some humble pie. Like, if Dillon Danis lost in jiu-jitsu, that's almost what I would be watching for. He said shit like he wanted to fight John Jones in jiu-jitsu, and I know jiu-jitsu size doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't at all. But these dudes train jiu-jitsu. Is Dillon Danis really fucking light years above all these guys on jiu-jitsu to the point to where he thinks he can fucking just choke John Jones out or any of these dudes that fight in the UFC? It'd be interesting. It is his world. It is his world. So I would love to see. I would low-key pause. I would love to see it. Pause. He says just going to be me and him, man-to-man, just straight jiu-jitsu. Danis said we'll put it on our last Instagram story. That seems a little bit too small that we have to figure out. But it will just be me and him, probably in a room. We'll put it on YouTube or something. What the fuck? I don't know about this. I don't know. This is starting. I'm not going to go where this is sounding. Like, so Dillon Danis is just going to meet up in a hotel, like, fucking wrestle around, get all, you know, no audience, no crowd, no nobody, just set up a camera. I'm just curious. I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen when the camera goes off. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm out of line, but this just, the details sound weird. Dillon Danis is paying Kevin Lee $100,000 to come do jiu-jitsu with him in a room with no audience. You guys, what the fuck? What the fuck are we talking about? And a meeting in a room, like, did he say we'll probably? It would just be me and him in a room and put it on YouTube, and then we'll put the last half on fucking Pornhub. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the fuck we're talking about. Pause. I'm saying, what are we doing here? But hey, 100K, Kevin Lee's in it to win it. Man, there's so far we could go with that. Like, there's so far I could take that if I was just trying to, like, go completely left field. That's crazy. After a lengthy stint in Florida, Luke Rockhold has returned to AKA. Posted pictures training with Khabib, not only Khabib, but Javier Mendez. And Luke Rockhold training for a potential upcoming fight with Chris Weidman at UFC 230. Details weren't all the way worked out, wired out. Luke Rockhold has shown some reluctance recently, like, yo, get the contract right. I can make money doing this over here, same amount of money as fighting. So, I mean, unless we change that, then don't talk to me about no motherfucking Weidman. Now, he put it in a little different terms, but essentially that's what he was saying. And maybe the UFC put it on contract because now we see Luke Rockhold training, and he looks like he could just be helping, you know, he could just be helping the crew. You know, it could just be a hard day of training, but he could also be in a potential training camp for his own fight. Khabib's going to be fighting at 229. Rockhold could be fighting at 230. And who knows, shit, if DC decides to defend his light heavyweight belt, or if John Jones can come back even at heavyweight, DC could be fighting at 230, and we still need a main event for that card. But yeah, so not only that, he posted with Javier Mendez. Javier Mendez said, great training tonight with my guy Luke Rockhold. I predicted greatness from him on his first day with us, and I still see greatness now. He really didn't even really know about real sparring, that he didn't have a mouthpiece on the first day 11 years ago. He said, where can I get one? I told him Target. I didn't think he would be back, but he came back 15 minutes later with the mouthpiece. He was very impressive on his first sparring, that I thought this guy was a great athlete and actually likes to fight. Championship material. We're AKA family, AKA for life. And of course, Luke Rockhold was down there, I believe, with the Black Zillions in Miami for a little while. Just getting a different look. And also, part of the reason was because his teammates were injured and shit. Khabib, I believe, was injured. He was like, yo, I can't get no good looks down there in AKA. Caden's injured. Khabib's injured. He's gone for a while. I mean, DC, so he just wasn't able to get no good looks. Went down there for a little bit, and now he's back. So we'll see if he actually gets announced to fight Chris Weidman sometime soon. Infamous says the winner gets $200K. The winner gets $200K. Yeah, I mean, all or nothing. That'd be interesting. All or nothing. But either way, the whole fucking just me and you in like a fucking room, like no cameras, or with a camera, no audience. That's interesting. Why would you not want an audience? Why would you not want to sell tickets? Why would you not want to sell, concessions and like? Why would you not want to put this at an actual event and make that money. Like, what's the deal? I don't know, man. Just me and you in the room. I'll give you $200K to come do jiu-jitsu with me. What would it sound like if fucking some old dudes... would you do that? Like, seriously. What if some old dude came up to you like, hey, man, I'll give you fucking $100K to come do some jiu-jitsu with me in a room. You think a wink's not coming right after that? Like, come do some jiu-jitsu with me. Come on. We gotta oil up. That's the only thing. I don't know what the fuck. Pause. I'm just saying. Kind of crazy. Either way, Karolina Kowalkiewicz, UFC 228 winner versus Jessica Andrade. Not Joanna Jędrzejczyk should be next for the title is what Karolina is saying. And fuck yeah, man. This for sure seems like a #1 contender fight. Jessica Andrade could already be fighting for the title if Rose wasn't injured. Karolina, if she beats Jessica Andrade, making her case. And she already has a split decision win over Rose Namajunas herself, if I'm not mistaken. So that I'm sure Rose would want to get that back too. And as far as Joanna, she just lost twice to Rose. But if Rose is injured now, Joanna has said we might need that interim title fight. If Joanna is the only one available, then she might have to fight. The winner of this fight might have to fight Joanna. Now, that would be pretty convenient for the champion, Rose Namajunas, if she was still injured after the winner of this fight. But in my mind, the winner of this fight clearly should be fighting for the title next. And, of course, Karolina, who's in the fight, agrees. She said, I think this fight against Jessica Andrade will be a title eliminator. Not only do I think this way, but also the rest of the world. I don't want to offend Joanna, but sometimes she loses contact with reality, and she leads with her legend. Logically, Rose would have to fight for the third time with a fighter that she defeated twice. Like, yes, like she's already up 2-0. Usually it's best out of 3. She already won that, sweetie. Like, trying to get one back, she already beat you twice. That's not how it works. But she's speaking a little bit to Joanna's delusion, which Joanna was telling Rose Namajunas recently, bow down. You will bow down to, you know, like, you gotta chill telling the champion to bow down. That actually knocked you out and then beat you in a decision up pretty bad. Close fight, Rose and Joanna to say it was close, but still. Rose got her hand raised, and also she did a lot more damage in the fight, which is also always a little convincing as to the argument of winning a fight. Johnny Thompson says, your moderators are terrible, man, but I love the stream, bro. That's all that matters. Well, I appreciate it. I don't... Normally we don't have that complaint. You're the first person that's ever had that complaint, but I see if you just got banned because you were talking a little trash or timed out, that's a little bullshit. But like I said, I was doing the show. I didn't see it. If you guys were just disagreeing, talking some MMA, that's completely cool. So, and good news is, you know, it's just timed out. So, but yeah, man, I didn't really get to see what went on, so I can't really speak on it too much. But usually, people ain't really getting timed out like that just for an opinion, and I hope that wouldn't be the case now. Karolina Kowalkiewicz said she doesn't understand that logic. Maybe a win over Tisha could give Joanna a title fight, but only after Rose would fight someone else first. So it means Joanna would have to wait a really long time, and I think the champion has something to say, and it's not like Joanna is the strawweight queen and everything will be exactly as she said. Rose proved twice that she's better, and she will want to fight someone else. Yeah, man, I think that's actually a pretty obvious statement to anyone that's not Joanna. She's talked about, I will fight for the title again. Or maybe an interim title fight, you know, interim. But that's even a weird position. You put Joanna, because if Joanna fights in an interim title fight, if she wins that interim title fight, then it puts us in Joanna versus Rose 3, you know. And that would be crazy, because what if that happened? What if Joanna wins in Joanna versus Rose 3? Very unlikely at this point. But what if she did, and then be like, oh, well, now we got to see it a 4th time, because you got to give Rose the rematch, right? She already beat her twice. Like, that would be crazy. Instead, we could not make a mess of this and just give the shot to the very deserving Jessica Andrade, or the winner, Karolina Kowalkiewicz, if she's able to pull off the upset and beat Jessica Andrade. But Jessica Andrade has been looking great. Fucking, not only did she ragdoll one of the best grapplers, Claudia Gadelha, she also beat Tisha Torres after that. And then now she might be beating Karolina. I mean, Jessica Andrade, and her last loss at strawweight was to the then champion Joanna. So there's really no reason she's not fighting for the title if she wins this fight. Unless, and we're going to give Rose the benefit of the doubt, we'll hear about her injury update. But I'm seeing where this might start to go. Jessica Andrade is a very dangerous opponent. And Rose Namajunas, in her most recent interview, one of her most recent, she said that in her mind there's no clear-cut #1 contender right now. And that kind of made me go, Like, is there not? I think a lot of us would agree Jessica Andrade is the number one contender. So it kind of seemed like she was throwing, just kind of looking over her. And so we'll see what happens if Jessica actually wins this fight. But if Jessica wins this fight and there's any reluctance on the champion's part to defend against Andrade, then that'll be interesting. Very, very interesting in the time of WMMA. But Jessica Andrade is mini cyborg. She is mini cyborg, so I can't say I would be too surprised. You know how that goes with Cyborg, the most feared woman in MMA. But continuing a little more on the WMMA, Megan Anderson reflects on her loss to Holly Holm and sizes up her, not her, but she's sizing up the end of the year super fight, champ versus champ female super fight between Cyborg and Nunes. And it was kind of funny because she let it slip, like she corrected herself, but this is what she had to say as far as her loss versus Holly Holm most recently. When we saw that loss, Holly Holm, who's known more of a striker, both of them are, Holly Holm took the fight to the ground. She put on her fucking wrestling shoes and just exposed Megan Anderson's ground game in a sense, because she just kept her there. Megan couldn't get back up and the fight was over. But Megan Anderson said, I am happy with my performance. Obviously not the result that I wanted, but I am a big believer that my team is, but I'm a big believer and my team is a big believer that every opportunity is an opportunity to learn and develop. We definitely have a lot to work on, but I've only been in this sport for 5 years, and the fact that I've gotten to this point where I am in 5 years, I'm kind of excited for the next 5. And now as far as the game plan of Holly Holm, she said, I think Holly and her team had a great game plan, and that's the way to beat me. That's where she slipped up, because she said, that's the way to beat me. You know, kind of like, that's how you beat me, just take me down. But she slipped up, or it was the way to beat me, you know, because clearly we're working on it. That was the way to beat me. And they stuck to the game plan, and it worked. Now, with that being said, I just want to take this time to talk about a potential fight right now between Kayla Harrison and Megan Anderson. Who do you guys got? Usually we just stick to the news on the show, but it's time to have a little bit of motherfucking fun. Two-time Kayla Harrison, great two-time Olympic gold medalist in judo. Her ground game is not her question. Also, she's a big girl, legit featherweight if she was able to make that weight. She's been fighting at lightweight. With Megan Anderson, and we just saw Kayla Harrison in her second pro fight beat 8-1 Josette Cotton. Now, Josette Cotton, of course, doesn't have the resume or the name of a Megan Anderson, but with Kayla Harrison, who showed great improvement in that win, not only did she show head movement, she was throwing head kicks, she was throwing fucking, she was kicking her opponent's leg, like she was throwing body shots. Like Kayla Harrison looked great. Her striking looked a lot better than you would think if you're just like, oh, she's a judo girl. She's never going to be able to fucking strike with anybody. She's going to lose because she's got no striking. Well, she was showing head movement and a whole lot of other striking looks that were very impressive from Kayla Harrison. Now, with just her judo credentials, who do you guys think would win between Kayla Harrison and Megan Anderson, who we just saw once Holly Holm, who's more known as a bantamweight, but of course she fought at featherweight. She took Megan Anderson to school on the ground. Now, in my opinion, I think Chris Crooks is agreeing. Megan Anderson gets smoked. Oh, yeah, Kayla Harrison smoking Megan Anderson on the ground. And as far as the stand-up is concerned, it's not like Megan Anderson's just going to come in there and knock Kayla Harrison out. But Megan Anderson does actually have a couple KOs, but you have to think, man, like I said, Kayla Harrison's training with the American Top Team, and that's one of the things I like to point out. You know, a lot of people look at her more of a hype job, and I'm not going to stick on her too much because we're not going to overhype her, but she got a lot of potential, and also she's training with the American Top Team. She's training with Amanda Nunes, Joanna Jacek, Dan Lambert, all of those fucking killers. American Top Team has a stable of killers. Like every fucking weight class, men's, women's, they're one of the best camps around the world. American Top Team, they're fucking beasts, and that's Kayla Harrison trained a whole year before then, so yeah, so that's why I wanted to bring up the Megan Anderson versus Harrison matchup, because I think that would be a matchup she could already win in just her second pro fight, and I want to see what you guys have to say about that. Kayla says infamous. Cam Murphy says Megan. Okay, Cam for Megan. Okay. Kayla would daughter Megan. You guys think you think she'd be able to get it to? You don't think Megan's striking would be too superior for Kayla to find a way inside? Someone said, "Nah, come on, Holly took her down." I know you got a good point. I know, yeah. I think Kayla would win as well, but just Megan being the bigger name, I was interested to see if there was. And Cam Murphy did pick Megan. You know, maybe there are some Megan believers in here, or some Megan Andersons, as the coach likes to call them. But yeah, she said, As far as Amanda Nunes versus Chris Cyborg is concerned, Megan Anderson's given her opinion. I think it's going to be a really competitive fight. Amanda hits hard for the bantamweight division, and I think it's going to transfer across when she comes up. She's, undefeated at featherweight, so she fought a long time at 145 pounds before she dropped. And I think stylistically, Chris and Amanda are very similar. They're strikers. They've got heavy leg kicks, heavy striking, and so it's going to be interesting. So I'm excited to watch that. Now, I don't know, maybe I'm poking the bear a little bit here, but I feel like that was some shade at Chris Cyborg, calling her just a striker. Now, of course, we see more of her striking because she's usually getting bitches right up out of there with. She's got great striking, but also Megan Anderson and Chris Cyborg, they don't have the best history, right? It's not like Megan Anderson is the biggest fan of Chris Cyborg, and so that might be why she's giving Amanda Nunes also a little bit more of a chance here. Like, yo, Amanda Nunes, this is going to be super competitive. A lot of us, yeah, Amanda Nunes has the best chance of beating Cyborg, but that doesn't mean she's going to beat her. You know what I'm saying? In my mind, Cyborg's for sure the best woman fighter on the planet today. Now, in 2020, that's for sure going to change. Kayla Harrison's going to probably have 4 or 5 more pro fights by then, and 2020's coming. But today, Cyborg is a motherfucking monster. And really, the only people that doubt her a lot of the times are people that don't like her. You know, if you're just being unbiased, putting respect on her name, and also she is well-rounded. Cyborg's got some skills on the ground. She's not just a striker, but she is predominantly a striker, and that's also why 2020, Kayla's got that chance. Fuck you talking about. But that's her thoughts on it, and she does have a good point, though. Amanda Nunes does hit hard for the bantamweight. She hits hard for a fucking woman fighter. Fuck the bantamweight division. Amanda Nunes, if she went up to featherweight, she's hitting hard. If Megan Anderson, if Holly Holm fought, if Amanda Nunes fought Holly Holm or Megan Anderson or GDR or any of them girls 10 pounds heavier, she's still going to be hitting hard. But yeah, she's a hard hitter. That's a fact. And also, she's the queen of the bantamweights. Fuck what anybody's talking about. Amanda Nunes is the queen of the bantamweights. So we've been seeing Cyborg fight these bantamweight after bantamweights because she can't get a legit featherweight signed for the life of her to fight. And when the UFC does fight Megan Anderson, they feed her to Holly Holm instead of Cyborg. So we still haven't seen Cyborg fight a legit featherweight. And then we get the Tough House that's supposed to be women's featherweights and men's heavyweights. And we get a bunch of fucking more women's bantamweights. So Cyborg has had a lot of bantamweight fights, girls that have stepped up to featherweight. Of course, they made the limit, but girls that have fought at bantamweight, and now she's taking on Amanda Nunes. And in my mind, if she beats Amanda Nunes, the UFC don't need to be running no more bantamweights at her. It wouldn't make any sense to do it. It's like Cyborg putting a statement, I'm like, look, there's no fucking bantamweight you got that's ever going to beat me. I just beat Amanda Nunes. And also, it's a big win for Cyborg because Amanda Nunes, she's got the win over Ronda Rousey, and so does Holly Holm. So if Cyborg can beat Amanda Nunes, she'll have beat both of the girls that actually beat Ronda Rousey, which is a fight that fans wanted to see a long time in the past that Ronda Rousey might not have really wanted, as we saw in the end. And now she's in the WWE, not at featherweight or even fighting anymore. But that would also be kind of I don't want to say a fuck you to Ronda Rousey, but it would be something that Cyborg had on her. Like, look, chick, people used to talk about you could beat me. These two chicks that starched you, yeah, fucking beat them both. What are we really talking about here? So not only would she kind of have that on Rousey, but she would be beating the queen of the bantamweights. So it's like, don't give me no other fucking bantamweights because I just beat them all. I beat them all and the queen. So there's no other bantamweights you need to be feeding me because they can't beat Amanda Nunes. You know they can't beat me if she can beat Nunes. So that's why I like this fight as well. And Amanda Nunes does hit hard. Who knows? We just saw fucking Holly Holm put on her wrestling shoe. Who knows? Amanda Nunes, she's training an American top team. She might fuck around and come in here and, I don't know, it's likely to stay standing for a while. But I wouldn't be surprised if she tried for a takedown or two. You know, just to test Cyborg's ground game in the UFC. It's been a while since we saw Cyborg's ground game tested. You know, Amanda Nunes does got a great team as far as wrestling is concerned. She's very well-rounded. Amanda Nunes isn't just a striker, but, I mean, I wouldn't disrespect Cyborg and say she's just a striker either. Cam Murphy says, if Nunes can't beat Cyborg, who can? Kayla Harrison in 2020. No, but I do like your question, but I would just reword it. If Nunes can't beat Cyborg, then what bantamweight can? If Nunes can't, then no bantamweights can. And really, actually, you're still right. On the planet today, I don't think there's any female fighter that can beat Cyborg today. I don't even think Kayla Harrison can. If Kayla Harrison fought Cyborg today, she'd probably get beat. Now, I'd give her a chance. I'd be pulling for her, but she'd get beat. But future Kayla Harrison is really the only person I see that has a chance against Cyborg, and that's if Cyborg's still fighting by then. You know, Cyborg's not too happy with the way things are going. You can imagine why. She's no future, it looks like, for her in the UFC with the featherweight division. So she's talking about becoming a free agent and all of this stuff. So, Cyborg could either go to boxing or shit. She might sign with the PFL. Kayla Harrison said, I'm sure the PFL would treat her better than it seems like she's getting treated over there. They're treating me great. You know, they're treating us great over here. So she might sign with PFL just for that potential future match. Who knows what's going to happen with Cyborg. But if she beats Nunes, though, for sure, there's nobody that can beat her. There's nobody. Not today. Not even in other divisions at featherweight. You look at these girls. We definitely want to see Cyborg fight a girl her size. We still haven't got to see that. But if she beats Nunes, she's making a big statement still. But what if Nunes wins and becomes the first motherfucking female champ? That'd be crazy. We ain't seen a female champ yet. That's what Nunes has the opportunity for. That'd be fucking crazy. And people ain't really giving her much of a chance. I mean, Megan Anderson is, but other than that, yeah, man, I can't wait for that fight. UFC 232 is going to be super fun. But recently, Tanya Evinger was scheduled to face Caitlin Vieira. Caitlin Vieira got injured, pulled out of that fight. They were going to be fighting in Brazil. So the UFC looked for a replacement for her, of course, looking for another Brazilian opponent, because that was kind of the reason they were going to Brazil. Evinger versus Vieira in Brazil. Now they looked at Correia, but she recently got took out of her fight. Oh, I forget exactly. Irene Aldana, maybe she was supposed to fight, actually. But she got took out of it because of an eye injury. And so it looks like Bethe Correia is forced to undergo another eye surgery and forced to turn down the Tanya Evinger fight. She would have got the fight, of course, in Brazil. Save the fight. Still another Brazilian stepping in, but she's got an eye injury. And so since Bethe Correia can't step in the fight, we do have Tanya Evinger getting a new opponent, but she's no longer fighting in Brazil. She's fighting Aspen Ladd at UFC 229. She got a bigger card for sure. I mean, she's fighting at UFC 229 with motherfucking Sean O'Malley. What an opportunity. I'm just kidding. McGregor and Khabib. Let's fucking go. That's a big card to get put on, whether you're on the prelims, Fight Pass, wherever you're at. It's a big opportunity. And now Ladd versus Evinger is going down at UFC 229 after the UFC was unable to get Evinger an opponent for Brazil. She's basically undefeated, says forward, and Aspen Ladd's a good fight. This is going to be a tough fight. Aspen Ladd, man, I think I always get her confused. Is she the one that trains with Rose, or who just got the win that trains with Rose? Was that Aspen Ladd, or am I thinking of somebody else? Aspen Ladd, let me pull it up. Did Aspen Ladd just get a win really recently? I'm always thinking. Aspen Ladd, there's one of these girls that is super underrated, and she just beat Polyana Vienna. No, that's J.J. Aldridge. Okay, that's what I was thinking of. Aspen Ladd, though, she's a beast, though. Don't get Aspen Ladd fucked up. She's only 6-0. She's very young, only 23 years old, but she's already got 5 finishes out of 6 fights. Fucking 4 KO TKO punches. She already has a win over Sarge Eubanks, who's a very tough fight. Win over Lena Landsberg, TKO second round. I mean, this girl's not fucking around. She did lose a unanimous decision to Cynthia Calvillo in the amateurs. That was back in the day. She's been pretty active. I mean, she just started fighting in 2013, so about 5 years ago. But she's shown, I don't know if she has a wrestling background or what, but she's fucking girls up and at high level. So I like Aspen Ladd a lot as well. This is going to be a tough fight, though. Fucking Tanya Evinger, WMMA pioneer, and definitely a fucking beast. You kidding me? This is no easy fight for Aspen Ladd, I'll tell you that much. Tanya Evinger. The triple threat. Tanya Evinger, of course, coming off the loss to Cyborg, but she fought Yana Kunitskaya twice over in Invicta. She was the Invicta champ. She fought Penny Kinzad, Irene Aldana, Cindy Dandois, Idiane Gomez, fucking Karina Dam, like Sarah McMahon, Alexis Davis. She fought all of these girls outside the UFC. Julie Kedzie, fucking Gina Carano back in the day. Like, WMMA pioneer for sure. But she is 37 years old, but she's still a beast. She was over there fucking girls up in Invicta at 36 and 37 years old. Don't count Tanya Evinger out. But, and she's experienced. She's got 24 pro fights to 6 pro fights. She's got 4 times the pro experience. this is a good matchup because Aspen Ladd is an up-and-coming young prospect, but she's dangerous, and she's taking on the more experienced. This is a great fight, man. I don't know who's going to win this off the top of my head. Like, I'm leaning toward Evinger because she's such a great fighter and proven and experienced. She's fought such high-level girls, but Aspen Ladd is fucking dangerous, and she's got wins over Sarge Eubanks and Lena Landsberg. So she's not just beating fucking cans or crunching cans by any means. So what a fucking fight this is. We just got added to UFC 229. That's going to be good for sure. But yeah, man, Evinger has a new opponent. That was some news. And other than that, it's about time to tell you guys about the UFC watch party one more time. We're about to do that after the show. About 30 minutes from now, it's about 7:30, so we're a good time to end the show. We went for about an hour and a half, but we're going to fucking pull up UFC Yankovic first, though. You guys ready? McGregor versus Khabib, or what's going on? But before we play this and end the show, I'll play that to end the show. If you're finished, you got to be finished biting your bagels now. So if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, do your boy a motherfucking favor and hit the thumbs up button or the like if you're near your phone, your computer, wherever you're watching this on. If you're motherfucking vacuuming, cleaning, cooking, doing your motherfucking thing, and you're just listening, don't come to hit thumbs up because you're doing your thing. But if you're just watching this shit and you ain't hit thumbs up, no excuses. Hit the thumbs up button. And if you ain't doing shit after this, you want the show to continue, but it's about to end because we're at the end of the daily news cycle, do your boy a favor. You don't even have to subscribe to this channel. I do want you to subscribe to UFC Yankovic. I'm trying to get that to 1,000, but what we're about to do now is we're going to go over to Full-Time Entertainment. Might be a little harder to find for you. Our low-key channel. Only 140 subscribers over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go live on this channel. I don't even know if it's eligible to go live. I hope it is. Hopefully I can go live on that channel. And if I can, I'm going to live stream UFC 4. Because I'm watching them all in order. And so I'm just going to be doing that anyway. And I'm going to try and live stream it if you guys just want to watch it as well. So either way, if you ain't doing shit, if you got time, do your boy a favor. Subscribe to my backup channels. This one for sure, UFC Yankovic. I'm trying to get that to 1,000 subs. And over there, of course, you can find all of our dope UFC parody songs, whether it's fucking Tenacious D remix, Wonder Boy, Leonard Skinner remix, or of course any of the newest motherfucking biggity bangers like this one we're about to play, Cardi B, I Like It. We fucking flipped it into McGregor versus Khabib Nurmagomedov. Are you motherfuckers ready? Let's go. We're going to play this one time, and then we're going to shut down the show. We'll, of course, be back tomorrow. I'm looking for work, man. I have not liked being off these last 3 fucking days. I'm trying to fucking get to the money so I can, you know what I'm saying, get these shifts in so I can move. I really want to move this coming up week, so we're going to try that. So the show should be the same time tomorrow, but if I find a work shift, we're going to do an impromptu daytime show, and you can, of course, watch the replay either way. So with that being said, here's McGregor versus Khabib, and if you want to watch UFC 4, subscribe to Full-Time Entertainment. I'm going live over there. I'm out.
Or is this Full-Time MMA now?
I love Full-Time MMA right now.
They call me Conor McGregor, there's no one better. I'ma fuck Khabib up, then go rematch Floyd Money Mayweather. If this dog with Dagestan, he thinks he can stand with me, I'll damage him and leave him panicking. Let Russia know I am the king, I don't like you, won't even pretend to try to. I've waited this long to fight you, you shouldn't have fucked with my crew. You ambush Artem Lobov in the hotel lobby, so we went and called gang. Now I'm coked up off of Molly, now I'm coming to the stage. So I think that you should probably stay the fuck up out my way. Somebody get me a dolly. Yo, Conor McGregor, what the fuck is wrong with you? Come here, let me smash you like chicken, just let me humble you. You take all these drugs, but you won't take home a W. If we fight in UFC or if we fight with guns and crews. No, let me stop it, you don't want me to take it there. If you want, you can take a bear, send location and I'll be there.